It's Press Pass with Jack Ebling, Mid-Michigan's spirited sports debate. Now let's get talking sports. Here's Jack.
Great evening, Mid-Michigan and beyond, and welcome to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time to meet Team 276. Darian Harris, 5-year MSU linebacker, co-captain of the 2015 Big Ten champions, graduate student, 1 semester left. Soon to be athletic director and now a new brand ambassador for Big B Coffee. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's hard for me to say no to opportunities when they're out there, but Big B's a homegrown company out of Lansing, great company, targeted to hit $1 billion by 2028. And more importantly than that, they're all about getting into the community, making a difference, and making an impact, so I'm glad to be a part of that.
This unpaid ad for Big B brought to you by Darian Harris. Should we have Big B cups out here? A lot of product placement?
We should. I mean,
that's part
of the brand ambassador role.
Not unless they're going to be a sponsor of the Spartan Beat.
Rico Beard is with us, longtime Detroit radio and TV personality, Specs Howard broadcast instructor, recruiting insider, guy who hates defense. And he is the host of the Spartan Beat, weekdays from noon to 2 on the Team 92.1. How are you, Rico?
I'm good. I don't hate defense. I'm just saying people would rather watch offense than defense. Unless your team is in it, then you're glued to the set. But you'd rather watch in football, you'd rather watch 42-41 final than a 10-9 final, except him.
Doug Warren, he'll watch any football, and he appreciates defense.
2-0. Great game.
Doug is Director of Sports Programming for the Spotlight Radio Network, Detroit Lions historian and insider, and he is host of Lions Today. And yes, that is 365 days a year, even though their season ends after Game 16. How are you, Doug?
Good, doing good. And I did enjoy the games this weekend, and defense wins championships, and we saw some teams play some defense this weekend. And next week, I'm looking forward to the games already. 3
of the 4 road teams this weekend. Win.
Veteran quarterbacks matter, and the veteran quarterbacks all beat the young guys this weekend.
Even a veteran quarterback who isn't a starter, isn't making the big money.
Right.
Although Rico says somebody should be paying Nick Foles. Probably will next year, right?
I would imagine next year, yeah. Whether it's the Philadelphia Eagles or not, probably not. Unless he takes them all the way to the Super Bowl again, then they might have a decision to make. But looks like Carson Wentz will be the quarterback next year, and Foles will be someplace else.
Guy's got some playoff magic. Postseason, he turns it on. Yep. We'll be back in just a minute, and we're going to start with Michigan State basketball. A blowout against Northwestern, and a big win. Ohio State in Columbus yesterday. We're there for that one. We'll be right back with much, much more conversation, a lot of basketball and football to come. It's Press Pass on Fox 47.
Catch the savings at Capital Honda. New 2018 Honda Accord LX, just $249 a month. Or new 2018 Honda Civic LX, only $169 a month. Just like your favorite team does it, we're going all out because you should be driving a Honda from Capital Honda.
Hi, I'm Realtor Brock Fletcher from the selling team with Keller Williams. Mid-Michigan homeowners who sell their homes with us get an average of 98% of their asking price and sell their home in an average of 28 days. Call us today at 517-853-6408.
Welcome to Russell and Schrader Insurance.
Hastings Mutual is a trusted partner of ours. Call Joe Daly for a Hastings Mutual insurance quote. They are hard to beat. Call Dylan Bond today. From business to farms, Hastings Mutual and Russell and Schrader Insurance will protect your best assets.
Thinking about moving? Make your next house a home with a mortgage from MSU Federal Credit Union. Apply for your mortgage loan today by calling or stopping in. You can also apply online. MSU FCU, building dreams together.
The Gifted. New episodes, new time. Tuesday at 9/8 Central on Fox.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, we have a taste for adventure because the only way to know how good something can be is to go for it. Try our veggie smoothies. Island Green, made with spinach, kale, pineapple, banana, and mango. And Caribbean Sea Burst with carrots, mango, banana, orange, and goji. Adventure begins with never knowing until you try, but always expecting something great. Go for a veggie smoothie at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Eat better, feel better.
Team spirit. Face paint. More cowbell. Dean Trailways Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Going Green segment, brought to you by Graf Chevrolet. A trusted friend now 105 years in the automobile business. Stop and see Matt, Mark, and Greg on West Grand River and Okemos. They'll take great care of you as they have on all 6 of my leases and purchases. Go green, go fast.
There's over 400 tickets sold, I heard, around my hometown, in the hometown, and they had party buses coming from our hometown, and it was special. I mean, I've been marking this game on my calendar since Justin committed there. It's a game I wanted for years, especially because I couldn't be here the last year. I was here, but I couldn't play. Just special to me.
You know, I didn't play as aggressive as on defense, you know, for the simple fact that he draws a lot of fouls too, so I had to stay in the game somehow. So, you know, I let him have a couple buckets. We just came out with a little chip on our shoulder with a little more edge than we had the first half, so, and that helped us prevail to get a win.
So we get a lot better as a team, moving the ball, knowing our spots, knowing our roles, knowing our shots, and, you know, that's tight. That's what the results. Like I said, it's a tough road game. You know, we did some good things, but we did a lot of things that we can work on, get better at. You know, we're going to get back in the lab, lock in, and be ready to go against Purdue.
A little montage there with Kyle Arns, Nick Ward, and Cassius Winston yesterday. Schottenstein Center, Value City Arena. Rico Beard, how did Tom Izzo's team rally from a 9-point second-half deficit, win by 9 without Josh Langford against the top 15 team in a hostile setting?
Well, what you saw was, I think, the maturation of Nick Ward. Nick finally accepted not only being the guy, but he was able to handle pressure. Yeah. That Columbus is his kryptonite. Whenever he goes down there, horrible games. Last year, 3 points, that was it, just did nothing. Whereas this game, he not only kept his composure, he got out of the double teams, he didn't get into foul trouble. He just played probably some of the best basketball. Yeah, he looked good at the Breslin Center, but on the road is when he really showed me he's maturing.
Is that experience, Darian? Maturity? What do you account for?
I think a little bit of both. I think that it's one of those situations where Coach Izzo probably went to him in the offseason and said, you are the guy now. I mean, you were the guy by default a couple years ago when Miles got hurt and things of that nature. Now you're really the guy. You know, you're the leader on this team. You're a guy that's trying to make it to the next level. So you got to show up on these road games, and he definitely took that to heart and has produced on the floor.
Doug, once the Spartans drew even, it was back and forth and trading the lead every possession. And then 4 minutes and 40 seconds to go, Michigan State just shifted gears. How did the Spartans do that, outscoring Ohio State 15-5 in that closing stretch? And what does a victory like this really mean?
Well, how they got the victory was they hit 11 of 14 free throws in that time frame. They made a couple big baskets, had a steal on an inbounds play, and they just turned it up defensively as well and forced Ohio State to make some mistakes. What does it mean moving forward? Well, it just means that they're keeping pace with Michigan, and they're going to be on a collision course with them at some point, be it in the Big Ten tournament and maybe beyond in the tournament itself.
I would say this too, Jack. Probably the other big reason why Michigan State did that, the Wesson brothers fouled out.
Yes.
When they left, that was it. Ohio State was done. They couldn't stop anybody down low.
Darian, I was just going to ask you about that because Michigan State does not normally do this a lot. They don't target a guy, change the offense to go at him when he gets a couple of fouls. But that was a big difference. And you could see, without the Wessons, in the last 2 minutes, Ohio State was spent. What does it say that Michigan State this year, unlike the past couple, been able to stay out of foul trouble and get the other team in jeopardy?
Yeah, I think that's overall maturation of an entire team that comes with experience. The guys been a little older on the team. I mean, you saw it a little bit to start the season off. You know, Cassius Winston fouls out of that game early on in the year. It really resulted in the loss in that game. You needed him on the floor. But I think they've learned from that. Nick Ward understands now how to stay in the game as a big man. Doesn't, you know, get up to that 3-4 foul threshold late in the game where Coach Izzo has to take him out of the game. So I think that's all about, it's just about learning. It's about experience. And again, it's about maturity and understanding how to still play great defense, still play competitive, still play tough, but lessen the fouls.
And Tom Izzo can point to that Louisville game all year and tell the guys, hey, see what happens when we get a key player out and we have to play basketball that really isn't our style. But Michigan State, a big road win, and Michigan doesn't have to go to Columbus.
No. Michigan doesn't have to go to a lot of places, it seems like. Every game they play is at Chrysler. But I think the other thing that Michigan State gets with no Josh Langford for the second game in a row is Kyle Arnes. He replaced Matt McQuaid. They didn't miss a beat. They replacing Josh Langford, and you thought maybe a little bit of a drop-off.
Right.
Not really. They're able to give Josh the rest because Kyle Arnes is getting it done.
There's something called an injury transfusion. And Michigan State had this with Steve Smith in 1990 when he went down. And then everybody gets better. And then suddenly you bring that guy back. And that might be what happens when Langford comes back because Kyle Arnes is going to be a better player. Some other guys will have had a chance to fill roles, do a little bit more. We saw with Aaron Henry, made a couple of big plays. So when Langford comes back, that's just like injection.
Aaron Henry let us know that shot went in.
We'll be back in just a minute. The big picture. We're going to talk about college basketball, Ann Arbor, and around the country. Up next on Press Pass.
Just announced. Get GM employee pricing for everyone. Now at every Graf dealership. This is your last chance to get the car, truck, or SUV you want at the best price of the year. Plus, Graf will double the value of your trade up to $5,000. Combine those offers and choose from these 5 vehicles for $145 a month or less. Don't miss out. Double the value of your trade up to $5,000 and get just announced GM employee pricing for everyone. Now at a Graf dealership near you.
The Student Bookstores are Green and White Shop headquarters. Outfit your entire family with Spartan gear. We have a large selection of men's, women's, and children's clothing. Show off your Michigan State pride with new shoes, socks, hats, and more. Have your tailgate ready with MSU party supplies, car accessories, and dress your pet in green and white. We have gifts for students, grads, alumni, and fans. From Vera Bradley and Dooney and Burke to diploma frames and more. Always shop SBS for the biggest and best selection of green and white. Go green, go white, go SBS.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Ride with Chicago PD, weekdays at noon on My 47.4.
If you're not well, but it's not an emergency, choose Sparrow Fast Care for things like infections, the flu, allergies, even the common cold.
But if you need x-rays, stitches, or to mend some broken bones, then choose Sparrow Urgent Care.
From Lansing, DeWitt to Okemos.
To East Lansing, Mason, and Grand Ledge, and now open on Michigan Avenue in Lansing.
Walk in or check in online at sparrowcares.org. Sparrow Fast Care
and Sparrow Urgent Care.
Healthcare at the speed of life.
Looking out for your business is important.
Hey, new equipment looks great.
And in this moment, you realize your independent auto owner's insurance agent is the right person to protect it.
Hold Dimondale Insurance Agency, your hometown team. Come catch us today.
Now is the perfect time to have an American Metal roof installed. You'll beat the spring backlog and save half on installation. Plus, get a free Snow Country trim package. Call American Metal Roofs or visit
AmericanMetalRoofs.com.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for the big picture, brought to you by Dean Trailways. With trips for every season, Dean takes care of the details so you can enjoy the experience, including daily casino runs and great getaways to northern Michigan and Chicago, where Doug Warren and I were in August, for the NFL Legends Classic. That's Dean Trailways, your favorite ride. Tom Crawford in Ann Arbor today to watch the Wolverines beat Indiana 74-63. Doug Warren, you always talk about that being good for business when you got both teams. I don't believe we have ever had a week, Michigan and Michigan State, being ranked in the top 5 at the same time in football or basketball. Someone can correct me on that, but I don't recall it. And what does that mean that 2 of the 5 best teams, once you take out Kansas, goodbye, Nevada, bye, from the state of Michigan, 63 miles apart?
Well, it's like you said, great for business, and these 2 teams that belong there. They're both playing tremendous basketball, and they've been doing so for quite some time. And I've always thought that, and now maybe it's finally here, that the Michigan State basketball rivalry could be like Duke and Carolina if they had the right coaches in place to build those programs up, and it seems like they have that now. So, hey, I'm looking forward to this because it's probably not going to change anytime soon because these guys aren't going anywhere.
Problem, Doug, you don't have the fan base behind them. You're right. On the court, it could be Duke Carolina.
Yeah, but
Duke Carolina, the fans hate each other.
Right.
Football, they hate each other. Basketball, they can't fill out the arena.
Maybe that would change.
Michigan's filling it out now. They've had a bunch of sellouts, and Darian, we got a couple basketball schools, right?
Yeah, which is fine with me, I guess, but it does. It makes it fun. You know, I think that when you sit down and when you think of top to bottom athletic departments across the country, you got to put Michigan and Michigan State up there, probably in the top 10, especially with the coaches they have in place at both spots, football and basketball.
All right, Doug, you're Switzerland here. You are unbiased, impartial.
Yep.
How close are these 2 teams? And if they played an NBA-style best-of-7 series, what would happen?
Well, I think they're very close. And since they haven't played this year, I just got to go on what I saw happen last year. If they played a best-of-7 series, I'd have to give Michigan the victory 4-3 because I think right now, until proven otherwise, they have better guard play, which they showed last year. And I think the Achilles heel is Cassius Winston. If he ever gets in foul trouble, that's going to change what Michigan State can do. They don't have a guy able to do what he can do, at least at this point in time. So I think if they're able to get him into foul trouble, that would be the key if they were to play a best-of-7 series.
Rico, are you buying 4-3 Michigan in a 7-game series?
No, I think Michigan, and watching them this year, is a different team than last year. This year it's that lack of depth. So if they did play in a 7-game series, I think that they would get worn down in games 5, 6, and 7. That I think that may be enough for Michigan State. Talking about guys like Kyle Arnes, Xavier Tillman coming off of the bench, Aaron Henry, whereas Michigan's only going 7. They just broke out Brandon Johns. They took him out the package today.
Yeah.
He's all smelling fresh and brand new. And, you know, he had this great game today, but they're still hesitant. No David DeJulius. They're not really playing their young guys. They're really sticking with 7. I think that could be a problem down the line for them.
Darian, preseason #1, Kansas, battling injuries now, loses at Iowa State, very difficult place to play. And Nevada, unbeaten, talking about, hey, maybe we can run the table, go all the way through, blown out at New Mexico. Why is the home court advantage for college basketball arguably the biggest for any sport?
Yeah, I think fans go crazy for college basketball, as we've seen. I think fans being able to be in these condensed settings that are college basketball arenas, you know, 15,000 to 20,000 people. When you pack it, it sounds like 100,000. So I think if you were to list it out, college basketball is probably at the top. I think NHL hockey is probably at the bottom in terms of home ice advantage, and everybody else is somewhere in the middle. But, you know, somewhere in a not-so-distant land, Graham Couch is very happy about this because the way he votes for the AP gets a lot of people upset, but he does kind of have a point. Kentucky lost as well to Alabama on the road. So somewhere in there, he's got a point in his logic.
And we saw some teams that were in the next tier, Rico, of the Big Ten. Wisconsin, a couple losses. Nebraska losing. Iowa on a skid. Purdue coming in Tuesday night, 9 o'clock, and suddenly the Boilermakers have found something. We'll be right back. Michigan State football up next.
We thought we lost everything in that fire, but my independent agent and auto owners made sure we were up and running fast. That's what mattered to us.
Hold Dimedale Insurance Agency, your hometown team. Come catch us today.
Mark your calendars because you don't want to miss the Mid-Michigan RV Show, January 17th through the 20th. The top 3 local dealers with the best RVs, all at the lowest prices of the year. As always, the best RV show of the year is right here in Mid-Michigan at the MSU Pavilion. The savings will be huge and the parking is free.
Are you getting married? Enter to win the grand wedding giveaway.
Welcome to The Blend.
I'm Bob.
Meet Bob.
This morning on The Morning Blend, I'm Mary Turner.
I'm Bob Hoffman.
Meet Mary.
We're glad to have you joining us this morning.
You never know what's going to happen on The Blend.
It's not every day you wake up with a pig.
Start your day off right with The Morning Blend.
It's a fun night out.
Catch The Morning Blend weekdays during Fox 47 Morning News at 7.
Download the Fox 47 News app and stay connected everywhere you go.
My name is Amy Belafonte. I didn't used to believe in monsters, but I do now.
Oh my God. How is this possible?
The only thing that matters is that you're safe.
Let's go. Stay right behind me.
You could help us save millions. You might be the most important little girl in the world.
The Passage, coming this January to Fox.
Team spirit, face paint, more cowbell. Dean Trailways Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
Hello, my name is Dr. John Braccio, psychologist. If you or your child have problems with focus, inattention, sitting still, memory, concentration, these are traits of ADHD. Visit us at drjohnb.com.
Your paycheck can be gone before you know it. We're here to help save your hard-earned wages. Discovering deals that are too good to be true. Shining a light on scams meant to rip you off. Watch Don't Waste Your Money with John Matarese. Monday on Fox 47 News at 10.
Tight-fought game. I thought the game really hinged on two things, probably, or two or three things, but certainly one of the things is they had one drive. They put together one drive in the game, hit a bubble play, and then hit sort of a, bubble go out of quads, out of 4 wide receiver set, and then makes a great catch. Obviously played very well on the defensive side of the ball. On the offensive side of the ball, I thought that, we lacked explosive plays, but we had production. When you look at the statistics here and you see that we ran 20-some plays more, 26 plays more than they did, and had 15 minutes more possession time.
Michigan State head football coach Mark D'Antonio. Can't believe we're still talking about this, but that was last Monday. Seems like a long time ago. Darian Harris, when a program has a defense as good as Michigan State's was this year, and you were part of arguably the best in 2013, and the offense manages 4 touchdowns in 6 losses, 25 points in the last 4. What has to change?
I think that you have to do a lot of self-scouting, a ton of self-scouting, and you got to figure out what works and what doesn't based on your philosophy. What I've been trying to explain is that anytime you have a great coach, and Coach Mark D'Antonio is a great coach, there's no denying that, how many times do they really change their philosophy, what they are at the core, what they do at the core? And for Coach D, what he does at the core is he plays great defense, and he's all about time of possession. And time of possession is not always going to equate to a high-powered offense because it's all about holding the ball, controlling the clock. But what you do have to have, and what he touched on very well, was you got to have explosive plays. So that may come from play calling as well as players making plays, and that all comes from self-scouting going into the spring, I believe.
Fans who want a Big 12 offense are never going
chance.
to get it under Mark D'Antonio.
Not a chance.
Are they going to get a 21st century offense?
I hope so. I do hope so. But, like I said, you look at the numbers from, 13, 14 was a great season in terms of offense. But
11th
15,
in the nation.
Yeah, but 15 went right back down to 70s.
Yeah.
No, Darian,
It's just
unless
not
they
gonna
get
happen.
let me stop you. Unless they get a special player, then no. I think Connor Cook was that special player. I don't think they're going to do that. I think that was an anomaly, unfortunately.
Don't forget, they had an offensive line with 3 guys.
Yes. They did.
That makes a gigantic difference. And if you don't have an offensive line, you can't do anything. If you have Alabama's offensive line or some others, doesn't matter what you run. It's going to work.
Absolutely. So I guess from what we're seeing is that it's not just one person whose quote-unquote fault it is. It's a myriad of a lot of things that need to be addressed. But again, to answer the preliminary question, I don't see too many changes being made that everybody wants to have made. Not from Coach Antonio.
I don't see any.
No change.
Rico, you have ripped Michigan State football and for being bad and boring, and that is a terrible combination this year. How do you apportion the blame between record-breaking number of injuries, wretched execution in the red zone and in the fourth quarter, and coaching decisions and stubbornness?
I mean, I think they all go together. It's not just one thing, like Darian said, but it starts at the top. It starts at Mark D'Antonio. When he comes out and says he played a big hand in the offense, Mark, that may not be something you want to admit when your team only kicked 2 field goals in a bowl game. I would have kept that to myself, but good for you for mentioning it. The fact that you had the injuries, but then it comes to player development. You didn't get the next man up. And football is about next man up, no matter what level, PAL, high school, college, pros. These guys weren't ready. Some of it comes because they don't, blow out teams. You don't get to go into games. And now these guys went in there for the first time, and you saw they looked like freshmen or rookies out there on the field.
When you have the statistical edges, they could say stats are for losers, but when you have that many edges that Michigan State did, a lot of things have to go wrong for you to lose. We just saw the play when Brian Lewerke kicked the ball around and then threw the interception, lobbed it up for the only takeaway of the game.
They didn't throw it here.
Saw what happened, the one where they wanted to, and just about everything that could go wrong did go wrong. Doug, let's take a look at next year's schedule, okay? And Michigan State now getting word, not a big surprise, but Joe Bocci will be back along with Raekwon Williams. If this team has average health, decent health, could the Spartans do what they often do? Tom Izzo says that's what scares them. Tom Crawford says that's what scares them the most, is win big when it's least expected.
And unless they change the offense, and I'm not looking for them to have a Big 12 offense, but they don't get a 21st century offense and build an offense to the talent that they have on the field, especially up front. You don't have NFL offensive linemen, you got to do something different. You can't run trussle ball. This is an 8-win team at most next year, even with the defense being stellar as it is, if they do not fix the offense, because it is not for modern football. What they run is obsolete.
One of the things that surprised me, Darian, in the bowl game was it didn't look like the receivers were getting much separation.
Yeah, that
I know Felton Davis wasn't there, but I thought that there would be more open receivers than there were, and the ones that were there, they weren't getting hit. We'll be back in just a minute, and we're going to talk about the Ohio State Buckeyes, Rose Bowl champions in the Big Ten, eked out a winning record this bowl season. We'll be right back with that on Press Pass.
Just announced. Get GM employee pricing for everyone. Now at every Graf dealership. This is your last chance to get the car, truck, or SUV you want at the best price of the year. Plus, Graf will double the value of your trade up to $5,000. Combine those offers and choose from these 5 vehicles for $145 a month or less. Don't miss out. Double the value of your trade up to $5,000 and get just announced GM employee pricing for everyone. Now at a Graf dealership near you.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
The Student Bookstores are Green and White Shop headquarters. Outfit your entire family with Spartan gear. We have a large selection of men's, women's, and children's clothing. Show off your Michigan State pride with new shoes, socks, hats, and more. Have your tailgate ready with MSU party supplies, car accessories, and dress your pet in green and white. We have gifts for students, grads, alumni, and fans. From Vera Bradley and Dooney and Burke to diploma frames and more. Always shop SBS for the biggest and best selection of green and white. Go green, go white, go SBS.
Get the lowdown from TMZ, weeknights at 7 on My 47.4.
With the David Chapman Agency, auto owners insurance policies come with something extra. Local agents who care about you. Our agents will help you find the right coverage at the best price. 3 generations serving you at the David Chapman Agency, your local auto owners insurance agents.
Fox 47 Home Experts, brought to you by Carpet Studio Flooring America.
In a world in need of integrity, Fox 47 presents a team of superheroes that will rule your daytime. The League of Justice, bringing truth, compassion, humor to a city yearning for fairness, led by the masked crusader Judge Millian.
You're such a liar.
People's Court puts naughty people in their place.
Up until this point, had you heard anything about you having a daughter?
Then Paternity Court saves the day by finding out who is your daddy.
I'll dismiss your case and throw you out. Got it?
The Mighty Mathis and the sizzling trio of Hot Bench blaze the trail for the Queen of the Court, Judge Judy. The League of Justice rules weekdays on Fox 47.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for another Big Picture segment brought to you by Dean Trailways. With trips for every season, Dean takes care of the details so you can enjoy the experience. It's Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
And we have a saying around here that when I need you the most, you give your very best. Never forget Buckeye Nation. When we were moving, swaggering back and forth a little bit, the storm got heavy, right? Did Buckeye Nation ever turn their back on Ohio State? Did you ever turn your back on each other? But when I needed you the most, you gave your very best. You gave it at home against that team up north, the second one in Indianapolis, Big Ten champs with a big ring. And then on that ring committee chairman, you're going to have a beautiful rose. And you are the Rose Bowl champions, boys. The 25th football coach at The Ohio State University.
Urban Meyer saw him yesterday in Columbus and Ryan Day, and it's very clear how much the players love Ryan Day. That can be good, that can be bad, Darian, but there's no question a very popular choice in Columbus. Rico, when you think about Ohio State, going to be a very different team next year. A lot of players leaving early. That's not new. Coaching staff, that is new, and not just the head coach, but throughout the staff. Is this a year that Ohio State could slip back a little bit, or will they stay in their normal place as a Big Ten team that is ahead of the pack?
Well, I can sit here and try and act like, well, you know, it's a chance that they are, but I'd be lying to you and to you. Ohio State will be Ohio State. They will still be the class of the Big Ten. Ryan Day's offense is lethal. And what did they do? They went out and brought in an OC from Oklahoma State. They went and got some Big 12 type of offense to infuse into the Buckeye offense. So, no. And replacing people, that's what Ohio State does. They get all those top recruits, and those guys, you want to talk about next man up? They rarely fall off. Think about it. This was considered a bad defense for Ohio State this year. They still only lost one game. So, no, I think Ohio State will still be at the top of the Big Ten.
And now Justin Fields, Darian, coming in, a battle for the quarterback job. Tate Martell looks like he's ready, but you're never going to take any chances at Ohio State.
I think they showed you the importance. Justin Fields next to Urban Meyer. Tate Martell was up in the upper deck yesterday at the basketball game.
Doug, how did the Big Ten do in postseason play? Which team impressed you the most, and which laid the biggest egg?
Well, I think they did okay. You see they had some wins and then some disappointing losses. Obviously, Purdue getting blown out was bad. Wisconsin with a big win against Miami. Michigan's loss was very disappointing. I mean, to me, the biggest egg, though, still, it's the Red Box Bowl. You score 6 points against Oregon, and coming off of a horrible regular season, that's the biggest dodo egg in the bowl season.
Well, they were a team that was a 2-point underdog or a 1.5 underdog, right? That's just about where they finished. So that wasn't a surprise. To me, the team that impressed me the most was Minnesota, right out of the chute.
Yeah.
And I think P.J. Fleck is onto something. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I'm telling you, you come out of the West and you got Scott Frost, you got what Fleck's doing at Minnesota. You've got some teams that you're not automatically going to be able
Northwestern
to
impressed me too, because Kyle Whittingham was 11-1 in bowl games. The guy doesn't lose bowl games, and they came back and won that game. So it was a big win for Northwestern.
And you're 5-4, Darian. The Rose Bowl really counts 2 or 3.
Yeah, definitely.
Public perception.
Perception, yeah. As well as again, Wisconsin beating Miami. I mean, that's big. And I agree with you. Minnesota beating Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's a team I'd never want to play in a bowl game because of how they run their offense. And Minnesota didn't just win; they won big.
So much emphasis on the East Division. Penn State now. They lose Trace McSorley. Miles Sanders declares early. Not saying that Penn State is ever going to fall off the map, but sometimes you have to go down before you can come up again. Michigan with a lot of losses. Some people in Ann Arbor think that, hey, you know, they still got a team that could win a championship. Tom Crawford said year 5 they'd be in the college football championship game.
He also said 12-0 this year.
I said 12-0.
Sorry, Tom.
He also said 11 wins for Michigan State and the Lions. So he was just drinking the Kool-Aid that day we did those predictions.
Tom.
Can the West winner next year give the East champion a battle? I know it's early. We haven't started spring football yet.
Not yet. But they are coming. They're next up. I like what Pat Fitzgerald's doing. Obviously at Northwestern, it was huge for them to make it to Indianapolis. It gives hope to that. You get there as Northwestern, you can bring some guys that now the academic requirements and things of that nature, but you can find some 4.0, 4- and 5-star kids, I think, somewhere out there to come to your school. So I think the West is on the up and up, but I don't see them usurping a team like Ohio State just yet.
A lot of good teams in the East would look at their cross-division games and say, okay, unless it's Wisconsin, there's a couple of W's. There's 3 W's there. Michigan State can't do that with Northwestern.
No, that's our Achilles heel.
Otherwise, they could do that. Not so sure that's going to happen now. You're going to find a lot more interesting cross-division matchups. We'll be back in just a minute. We're going to talk pro football. Not the Detroit Lions. We're going to talk real pro football. We're going to talk about the playoff picture in the 4 games this weekend here on Press Pass.
Hey, what have you been doing up there?
Honey, only ask questions that you really want the answers to. Okay. Can we get a reward for being such a nice guy?
As long as nice guys don't finish first.
A good guy, but he's got a big dilemma. 3 girls, a wife, are hanging up on his hands.
Oh my God, are we poor?
You are. We're doing very well.
Family's growing and it's only.
I know this might be too late to say, but I'm not sure we should have children.
Last man standing.
Oh, what are you dressed as?
Oh, a farm girl.
E-I-E, I know.
He's the last man standing.
I wasn't always this good at this.
That's That's Mike. We went to the mall!
Haters, gonna hate. Peace out.
On Last Man Standing. Weeknights at 7:30 on Fox 47. Catch 2.5 Men weekdays at 4:30 on My 47.4.
The Knapp Center is a historical hub for future business growth in beautiful downtown Lansing.
The Ide Company did the best they could to preserve the integrity of the history of this building while incorporating a modern open workspace.
They have been prompt, they have been efficient, and they really are a friendly, great group of people that we don't have any concerns about calling them for any of our needs.
Opportunities for retail, office, restaurant, and residential. Build the future as a member of the Ide Company family.
Hello, my name is Dr. John Braccio, psychologist. If you or your child have problems with focus, inattention, sitting still, memory, concentration, these are traits of ADHD. Visit us at drjohnb.com.
So, I got my start in officiating when a friend told me I should try it. At first, I just did basketball, and I got hooked. Before long, I added baseball, softball, football, and volleyball. I really enjoy giving back to the game, working with kids, and working with my local association to recruit and train new officials. I would like to say to anybody that officiating is a great way to help kids and stay connected to the game. We always need new officials. There's help wanted, just listen.
Resident returns Monday, January 14th on Fox.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Law of the Jungle segment, brought to you by Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road. Your healthy alternative to fast food. Eat Woody's and live longer. I'm talking about chicken shawarma with baked breast meat and hummus made fresh in a 3-day process. That's why I'm there every week. So Woody's items are now available at Tom's Foods, Horrocks, and other local grocers.
On second down, same play. Pass is caught. Wilson keeps going to his right for the touchdown. Anxious moments, anxious here in Arlington as Elliott gets in.
For Amari Cooper tonight.
Play action, Prescott floats, pass is picked by KJ Wright.
No help.
Prescott gonna carry. And reach, flip. Wilson steps into it, has a man, pass caught. Lockett down inside the 15 in this 4th down and 4. Pass is caught by McKissick for the touchdown.
In 2017.
Here's this little pop-up kick, and that could not have been any easier.
There you see the Dallas Cowboys holding off the Seattle Seahawks 24-22. And yes, there was offense played in that game, Doug.
Yes, there was.
Very exciting, and I thought there was some exciting moments all weekend. Can't imagine how someone can hit a upright or a crossbar 6 times in 1 year, Cody Parkey, but apparently that is possible, as we've seen, at least happen for the Chicago Bears. Doug, from what you saw of these 4 games, which team impressed you the most, and which of the 4 survivors has a chance to win again and reach a conference championship?
Well, the team that impressed me the most are the Indianapolis Colts, going into Houston and basically manhandling them. As you see, it wasn't as close as the final score there. Andrew Luck and Frank Reich have a synergy. Quinton Nelson and the linebacker Darius Leonard, I believe his name is, the first 2 rookies to be All-Pro since Gale Sayers and Dick Butkus back in 1965. It's a great football team, and the line just came in. They're 5.5-point underdogs at Kansas City, and I think they're going to win next week because Kansas City is not good in the playoffs at home. Andy Reid gets tighter than a snare drum come playoff time. I think the Colts are going to pull the upset.
Darian, I love underdogs, and I love people who have been criticized and just ripped and ravaged. And I thought it was great that Eric Ebron did what he did, the guy who they couldn't wait to get out of Detroit. They were driving him to the airport. And now today, Golden Tate.
Yeah.
Comes back. That's fantastic stuff. You have a team that you think now, I know the Dallas Cowboys is still alive, but is there a team you look at and you say, people have been underestimating them, they can get this done?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Indianapolis Colts has got to be that team that's being underestimated. I mean, I had the Chicago Bears as my NFC pick because I didn't want to take, 2 of the obvious, take the Saints or the Rams or somebody like that, but hit the crossbar and then hit the upright in the crossbar, now you're out. So I think that what people are going to continue to enjoy about this year's playoffs is it's the complete opposite of what you get in the NBA.
Yeah.
You don't know who's going to make it. I mean, I have no clue. I mean, anybody talk about the New England Patriots?
3 upsets this weekend in 4 games.
Exactly. And I mean, now you got a team like the Patriots, albeit 11-5, has Brady lost a step? Has Gronk lost a step? Yeah. I mean, they're still there. They're still in the fight. So I don't know who's going to come out and end up representing the AFC or the NFC in the Super Bowl.
Rico, is there a team this weekend that maybe you didn't fall in love with, but at least it kept you from falling asleep?
I mean, I guess maybe the Cowboys, but other than that, no, because I don't see any of these teams making it past next weekend. Unlike Doug, I think they'll all be along the wayside. The favorites will win out, and then you'll see a better caliber of football going on. So,
what a hater! Holy moly!
Darian, you know a lot about great defense, and Doug loves to talk about how defense is really what matters, especially this time of year. But aren't clutch quarterbacking and first-rate coaching just as important?
Yeah, I think they're just as important. I think it all goes hand in hand, though. I mean, you look at the Ravens-Chargers game. I mean, if the Ravens had an ounce of an offensive line and if Lamar Jackson could have done a few more things, they win that game because they had the Chargers' offense stifled. I mean, that was great defense. Yeah. Same thing with the Chicago Bears. The defense played extremely well. Yeah. It was just a weird situation with the ending. So now we'll see going into the following weeks, we'll see if the Chiefs' offense and the Saints' offense can keep up, even though they can't stop anybody, and we'll really be able to test the theory of how important defense is.
You kick too many field goals, you're bound to lose eventually. Rico, the Ravens, John Harbaugh, booed as loud as I have ever heard in Baltimore for his stubborn resistance to stick with Lamar Jackson and not bring in Joe Flacco. Got very exciting at the end, but for most of the game, they went 32 minutes without a first down. It looked to you like John Harbaugh got his game plan from another Harbaugh?
Yeah, it did. I probably would have gone to Joe Flacco. He has the experience at the halftime.
He's won a Super Bowl.
He has. At halftime, I would have made the switch because Jackson just looked over his head. It looked like he wasn't going to make any plays. He did it at the end, but I think that was just more background playground ball.
Doug, he's going to be a good quarterback. I don't know if he's going to be Russell Wilson, but he wasn't ready today. We'll be right back. We're going to have our Take It to the Bank segment talking national championship.
We never give up hope.
Should be fun. I'll lead.
We're breaking waves, shooting stars. We live for glory, not forever.
You don't leave me, and I don't leave you.
We are going to show you the dawn of a new age.
What's your hair? We haven't got any hair.
Oh my God!
Look into these beautiful hazel eyes.
How can I resist?
Woo! Run! Oh! Snap!
That sounds like fun.
Don't miss Mike and Molly, weekdays at 3:30 on My 47.4.
Just announced! Get GM employee pricing for everyone, now at every Graf dealership. This is your last chance to get the car, truck, or SUV you want at the best price of the year. Plus, Graf will double the value of your trade up to $5,000. Combine those offers and choose from these 5 vehicles for $145 a month or less. Don't miss out. Double the value of your trade up to $5,000 and get just announced GM employee pricing for everyone, now at a Graf dealership near you.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
Team spirit, face paint, more cowbell. Dean Trailway's Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Take It to the Bank segment, brought to you by Dart Bank, dedicated to meeting the needs of our banking community for more than 90 years, with 4 convenient locations in Mason, Holton, South Lansing, Grand Ledge, and the expanded Home Loan Center in Frandor. That's Dart Bank for what matters most.
Watson, touchdown!
You see, Watson to Renfro. It can happen. 1 second left. Yes, Alabama is capable of losing. And Clemson is a team that's capable of beating them. Not to say that's what's going to happen. All right, Team 276. Time to talk national championship. Darian Harris, what can we take to the bank about tomorrow night?
Well, for me, we can take to the bank that we're not just going to get a Jalen Hurts sighting, but we're going to see a considerable amount, I think, of Jalen Hurts in some capacity. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to come in and spell Tua Tagovailoa of his role as a starting quarterback. But as we've seen, they'll line up Jalen Hurts in the slot, bring him on some jet sweeps, on some motion runs, some trick plays, all Nick Saban does in his wizardry. I could see a good amount of Jalen Hurts in this game tomorrow.
Those guys are not diametrically opposite in what they run, but as a defensive player, how tough is it to prepare for 2 different quarterbacks?
It's incredibly tough. It's almost impossible, and I think that's why people today had an issue with Harbaugh not bringing in Joe Flacco. There's the change that you can make, and the change we saw last year in the national championship game, bringing in a different quarterback, it's almost impossible for a defensive coordinator to shift focus that quick.
Rico Beard, what can you guarantee about tomorrow night's game in Santa Clara, California?
Alabama wins, double digits, not even close. Wow. You'll be watching something else. Trevor Lawrence, they're going to show him that he is a freshman. Sorry, he hasn't seen a defense like this in the ACC. The ACC was really bad. That's not Notre Dame on the other side. That's Alabama. That's a bunch of grown men.
That's not Oklahoma on the other side for Alabama
well,
either.
Here's the
That's
thing,
Clemson.
Though. Right, but Oklahoma, I think, gave Alabama the close. In order to beat Alabama, you need a mobile quarterback. That's what Deshaun Watson provided them a few years ago. Lawrence, I don't think will be that type of quarterback that can stretch out plays. I think he's going to get killed. I think
this might be wishful thinking, Darian, but I think we're going to have a game. I think we're going to have a fourth quarter game. Doug Warren, you have always said that Clemson is the one program that had the athletes to play with Alabama. Can it do that?
Well, it'll play with them tomorrow night, but I think Alabama will win a 3-point game, something like 38-35, something like that.
3-point game, Rico.
Nope. This thing's going to be over by halftime.
Clemson's good enough up front with the front seven, even with Dexter Lawrence being out, that I think they're going to give them fits and make them work for the points they're going to get. Now, Rico's point about Trevor Lawrence against that defense, that's going to be the key to the game. If he plays like a freshman, it could be ugly. But he hasn't played like a freshman all year, and I don't expect that to suddenly appear tomorrow night.
Darian, would you be not surprised, or shocked if Clemson won?
I'd be pretty shocked if they won. I do see Alabama winning this game. I kind of lean towards both sides, honestly, not to play both sides of the fence. I see Alabama jumping out pretty early. Clemson able to make a run. As it did against Oklahoma, and Clemson kind of making a run.
You got to hope that Alabama gets bored then.
Exactly. Yeah, which I could also see.
Well, that's what happened with Ohio State in the bowl game, the Rose Bowl against Washington.
Yep. And even, albeit the national championship, I could see that happening.
Here's why I think Clemson's going to be in it all the way. Because it has confidence, it can win. You just saw that play. All those Clemson guys have seen it. If they haven't seen it, it's on a loop film somewhere. They're going to be seeing it. They know they have played with Alabama.
Deshaun Watson coming back?
Trevor Lawrence, pretty good quarterback.
He is. He's no Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson was special.
We'll see what happens tomorrow night.
Just saying.
Levi's Stadium. A lot of people are going to be watching. And then what do we do?
Hunter Renfro's still on the team. He might have a big game
Wouldn't that be cool if he caught another winning touchdown pass? You imagine what life would be like for him if he ever drove through Tuscaloosa? Hit him in the head with some barbecue. We'll be right back. Our Cool and Smooth segment, all the weekly awards, up next here on Press Pass.
You're up. There's an old saying, you can never have too many officials. The age of the average official is 52 and getting older all the time. We're constantly recruiting new people, younger people to join us. After you register with the MHSAA, look on the website to find an officials association near you. They'll put you in a position to succeed as an official. We all learned a lot from high school sports, and officiating is a great way to give back to the game. There's help wanted, just whistle.
Touchdown, Cowboys.
The Ticket Machine is your local connection to concert, theater, and sporting event tickets nationwide. Our entertainment experts are ready to help you create a memorable experience, trusted by fans for more than 20 years. Whether you're looking for tickets for your corporate outing, family excursion, or vacation, we offer the best seats and the best prices. Grab a front row seat now on theticketmachine.com.
Working with the IDE company, 1, is very easy to do. 2, they're very responsive to our needs. And 3, as we've grown as a company, they've listened to those needs and they've helped us plan out our future in terms of growth that needs to be done at this location.
It's just comforting to know I'm working with the IDE company, knowing that they can accommodate our growth. In that way, they're an excellent partner.
Opportunities for retail, office, restaurant, and residential. Build the future as a member of the IDE Company family.
911, all new, Monday on Fox. Every superhero has their kryptonite.
Ow!
Lactose.
Eggnog.
Lactose.
It's just rum. It stopped being eggnog like half an hour ago.
Sarcasm. Was that sarcasm?
No.
Was that sarcasm?
Yes.
Was that sarcasm?
Stop it!
Girls.
Yo, Raj, talk to me. How about a hug?
How about a hearty handshake?
Come on.
The Big Bang Theory, 5 nights a week.
Weeknights at 6 and 7 on Fox 47.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Sometimes our breaks are better in the show, ladies and gentlemen. That's our Cool and Smooth segment brought to you by the 5 Culver's locations in mid-Michigan. Since 1984, Culver's has been delighting guests one meal at a time with scrumptious butter burgers and premium frozen custard. That's Culver's. Welcome to Delicious. Here you see John P. Peters, better known as Big Nut, wanted to say hello to all his friends in East Lansing. It's one of his favorite stops on the Big Ten Tour, the iconic Ohio State superfan. And that is his wife. The first time she's been seen, that is Mrs. Nut.
That's somebody's daddy right there. That's, wow.
All right, Team 276. Time for our weekly awards, and who has been as cool and smooth as a Culver's mint explosion this week? Rico Beard. Let's start with you in our play of the week.
Couple ways I can go with this. College basketball, you know, Kyle Arns driving down the middle of the lane in the second half, really helping Michigan State come back to defeat the Buckeyes.
What a fake.
It was.
The fake was.
I can't give it to you, Kyle, because you did not stick the landing. Didn't stick it, don't get it, okay? I'm about perfection here. Nick Ward, they just tied it. Caleb Weston tied the game up. Nick Ward comes down, gets an and one. Gives Michigan State the lead again. But I just got to go simplistic. I got to go to Duke. I got to go to Zion Williamson getting the steal, just the 360 dunk. That kid is just, I think he's a once-in-a-generational type of player. I don't know what they're going to do with him in the NBA, but there's not too many people or teams that can guard him in college. That was just, I know it was a breakaway dunk in a meaningless game, but my goodness. It woke the crowd up. It woke the nation up. He broke Twitter.
He's a great dunker. Okay. Doug Warren, what about our game of the week?
Today in Chicago, the Philadelphia Eagles, 16-15 winners over the Bears. A beautiful game filled with tremendous defense, field goal kicking, and a few mistakes. And Nick Foles, once again, shows why he might be like the Jim Plunkett of the 21st century. Just a clutch guy, doesn't get a lot of credit, but when playoffs time comes, he's just a dude that gets the job done. That's my game of the week.
I got an honorable mention. Johnny Supan, our floor director tonight. We're sitting there at Mun Ice Arena. We're watching Michigan State. It was 7-4 with 5 minutes to go. Michigan State scores 3 goals and then comes back and in the 3-on-3 overtime gets the extra point. Never thought I would see that, and I did. Darian Harris, what about our team of the week?
Team of the week, I'm keeping it simple for this week and going Michigan State basketball, come back against Ohio State on the road. I mean, that's going to be huge for this team. It's going to pay off big dividends going forward. That's a game that you don't necessarily in the last couple years think Michigan State will pull off, but they do. And I think what everybody's saying is not just hyperbole. I think this team is better than the team last year without the 2 superstars. And coming down the stretch, I mean, we could really be looking at a Final Four team here.
Tom Izzo made sure we all knew that in his mind, this year's team is not better than last year's team. He can't admit that anyway.
Right.
I mean, he's got to coach these guys, right? He doesn't want them thinking they're that good right now.
Right.
So they do have some work to do, no question about that. Far from a perfect team, but pretty good at this point of the season. All right, time for our player of the week. And I want to talk about the Knicks, not the New York Knicks, Steve Finnemore. Who cares about that? I want to talk about Nick Foles and what he did today once again. I mean, this guy's going to have a heck of a book when he writes it. You know, all the things that he has done. Just when you count him out, you can't kill him. Here he comes back. And my player of the week is Nick Ward. And not for the 21 points in the first half in Breslin Center. And not for the 21 points he scored at home, finally beating Ohio State, hometown team. But after the game, it was the most mature I've ever seen him, and he did offer to help Cassius Winston with free throws. He said, "Hey, you know what? I only missed 3. Cassius missed 4. I'll help him out." So I don't think Cassius is going to take him up on that. Want to thank our panel, Team 276, Darian Harris. Congratulations on the new gig with Big B. Rico Beard. Hates offense, doesn't like Clemson either. And Doug Warren.
Speaks the truth.
And you can hear these guys ahead of the Drive with Jack and Tom, sports programming all day from 10 to 6. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the national championship game, everyone. We'll see you next Sunday.